do if your new football boots don't fit the shape of your foot very well and thus are really not very comfortable? Well, I'm gonna tell you what you can do, because in today's video, I'm gonna give you a few tips and tricks and life hacks on how you can break your boots in more easily and make them fit the shape of your foot better to ultimately feel a lot more comfortable. Because I don't think there's anything worse than getting a new pair of boots, coming home being really excited to try them out, only then to realize that they don't really fit you very well and actually feel pretty uncomfortable. But hopefully, after today, that's not something you have to worry about ever again. And just full disclaimer here, no, there's nothing wrong generally with the fit in the Predators or the Copas for that matter. There's just a new colorway out, and I figured I might as well show it to you guys and use these boots as an example. So it's called the Glory Hunter Pack. I reckon it looks pretty cool, and if you want to get a pair, you can buy them right now from unisportstore.com in the link right up there. But with that said, let's get to it. Before you get started with all the tips though, and I'm gonna tell you more in a second, it's just important for me to say that even these, admittedly, super awesome tips, well, even these tips are not gonna be able to save a bad fitting boots. If it doesn't fit you right from the get-go, chances are that it's gonna be hard to save. So what I'm trying to say here is that you have to get as close to the right size and the right fit when you buy the boots, because if you get a boot that is criminally too tight or too loose or fits you too long, well, nothing you can do will really ever help you get 100% right fit. Another thing you can also do is that if you want more lockdown or a slightly looser fit because you maybe have a wide foot, I've also made a video with lacing hacks that you can go and check out in the pop-up right up there or in the description below. But what's that later? If getting the right size doesn't make your boots feel comfortable enough and you still want it to feel a little bit softer, well, you can use the infamous hot water trick. Now, personally, it's something I've used for I don't know how many years, but it was made most popular by CR7 when he used to soften up the uppers of his Superfly 2s back in the day by pouring hot water over it in a sink before a match. So what you need to do the hot water trick is basically a pair of boots, duh. You need some hot water, and you need then to pour it over the boots into a sink or a bowl, the areas of the boot you want to soften up. Now, the water should of course be hot, but only so hot that you can actually hold your hand under it and not get burned. Because if the water is too hot, or if it's even boiling, you actually risk the water and the temperature melting the glue holding the boots together, so they risk falling apart, and you really want to avoid that. See, the theory behind the hot water trick is that the heat from the water itself is gonna soften up the fibers of the upper to make it more pliable. So when you've heated up the boots, you simply put them on for at least 30 minutes, because then when the fibers and the upper starts to cool down and stiffen up, well, the boot and the upper is gonna remember the shape of your foot a little bit better. And finally, well, the fit is gonna be more awesome. But if that's still not enough, and you want to make your football boots even more roomy, you can also resort to the freezer trick. And I recognize that, okay, it might sound a little contradictory to first use hot water and then slap your boots in the freezer to increase the comfort, but you can actually use physics to stretch your football boots a little bit. See, this was actually a trick I learned from my girlfriend, who used to stretch out and make her high heels a bit more comfortable, but the good thing is that it actually works for football boots as well. So what you need is some plastic bags, and you need to fill out the entire toe of the boot with a plastic bag. Make sure it goes all the way down, so it fills out the toe of the boot. Then you take some hot water, you pour it into the plastic bag, fill it up well, and then you seal it to make sure that the water does not run out, because otherwise the trick's not gonna work. And then basically you slap it in the freezer overnight and you let science do its magic. Okay, how is science going to make my football boots more comfortable? Well, I'm glad you asked, because when water freezes, it actually expands 10 to 11%. So imagine the water is sitting here in the forefoot, it slowly expands, turns into ice, so it's gonna stretch the boots slowly as the water expands, but keeping the original shape of the boot. Meaning that it's basically gonna be more pliable and fit your foot better. Again, this is not gonna compensate for getting the wrong size, but if you need a bit more room in your boots, the freezer trick is your best friend. Another way to help your boots on the path to a better fit is to quite simply wear them a lot around the house, doing, I don't know, random things. Could be sat on your couch watching TV or playing FIFA or doing the dishes. I don't care. Just start wearing your boots a lot before you take them to training, because the body heat from your feet, just like the hot water trick by the way, is going to soften up the upper and begin the preparation for the process of molding to the shape of your foot. And for me, it's a lot better and much safer first step in getting the perfect fit, because you're just gonna be sat on your couch while the boots are slowly shaping to the foot. And you don't really risk going into a training session and getting blisters or pressure points and all that stuff that you might risk having because your feet and the boots aren't ready to start moving with each other properly yet. Unless, of course, you get really agitated when you play FIFA. And I don't think that's something I can help you with in this video, at least. But when you finally go to the pitch and you still feel that the boots aren't quite there yet, I would suggest that you start using them for training and not directly into a match. But also, I really recommend that you actually take a backup spare pair of boots that you just know work well with your feet. Because the thing is that most people, when they wear boots that don't really fit their feet well, they get blisters. And the thing about blisters is that they're self-inflicted injuries, meaning that you can totally avoid them. So if you feel that a football boot starts to hurt a little bit and give you pressure points or begin to rub to give you a blister, take off the problematic boots and start wearing some boots that you know work with your feet and are super comfortable to play in. So yes, it might be annoying that you can't wear a super fresh, dope new pair of boots, but it sucks even more to not being able to play football for a week or so because you didn't listen to your body. So bring a backup pair that you know and trust. It could be this, or these. This pair. Maybe these. This pair. But finally, if your boots just aren't a good fit and none of the above tips really work, the only thing you can do is trying to minimize the damage the boots will do until you can get a new pair. So your last resort could be to use tape, more specifically blister tape. But why do you say last resort, Jay? Well, basically this is to help you out when the damage has been done and you wanna avoid getting to that point. But if you have to use blister tape, you have to be careful, because if you apply it in the wrong way, well, it might fall off when you start to sweat, it might crumble up, and it could end up giving you an even bigger blister. I've tried it myself and it really sucks. So what I would do is to use either normal blister tape or this here padded mature foam tape, which not only acts as an extra protective layer on top of your skin, but it also takes a little bit of the pressure points that can be really annoying. So all you have to think about is to warm it up nicely in your hands before you apply it to really activate the glue and the adhesive and make it fit a little bit better. And hopefully it can make your heels live just a little bit longer until you can get a pair that actually fits. So guys, if your boots don't fit you well, there's still hope, because there are a couple of things you can do in order to save and raise the comfort level a little bit. But just remember that if you start off by getting the right size and right fit to begin with, well, you might not have to do a lot of these things I just talked about, because the fit is there to begin with. But anyways, tell me what you guys are doing in order to make your boots fit better in the comment section right down below. And if you need new boots because your current ones don't fit you well, we have everything you need over at unisportstore.com. You can just click the link right there. Now, of course, also don't forget to go subscribe to the channel with the notifications on. And if you want to go learn some wicked skills, the playlist right over there is pretty awesome. And with those words, guys, I'll see you next time. Signing off. Cheerio.